marketing campaign, schooner priceless. Let's push it on that.
Perfect.
That's what
Love
we're
having me.
Cheers. All good.
Sorry.
No, we'll go after that.
Just a verbal. Take two.
Beers, bubbles, banner, Sav
It's
B.
actually Sav B.
Yes.
It's
Perfect.
Sav B's sister.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Lou, Whitton, thanks for coming in. You've been on our list of people we wanted to have a chat to for a while. We had a brief discussion when you turned up. So you've got an interesting sort of background, history, and what you've done with your business is pretty incredible too. So we always start with the same question. It's a little bit about where you grew up and what that was like. So.
Yep. I grew up in Walbert.
Yep.
I was born in Walbert and grew up there and went away to boarding school in '96. And what it was like was pretty awesome childhood.
Yeah.
We could play any sport, do any club, anything we wanted to because you could walk everywhere. Mum didn't have to take us.
Yeah.
Just had to home by dark.
So you're in town in Walbert?
Yeah, in town.
Okay.
Yeah, so Dad was a birth mover and Mum was a nurse.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was...
Yeah, our dad lived there for 18 months.
Yeah, right.
I was going to be born in Walbert actually.
Yeah, right.
Mum and Dad were at
Oh,
the wedding. So
yeah.
but he loved his time out there.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Formed some really good friends, actually.
Yeah, so I grew up there, so I knew no different
Yep.
growing up.
Yep.
I didn't see it as we were isolated or missed out on things at
Yeah,
all because I knew no different.
Yep.
But yeah, I remember long drives for anything.
Yes. Flat.
Yes.
Long drives.
Yeah, I remember learning at school that the earth was round and I thought, I'm pretty sure it's
No.
I can see the edge. Yeah, I can see the edge of the earth.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, I'm still stuck on you went away to high school at 96 because I finished in 96.
Yeah, I went in year 11.
Oh, that makes me feel
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So I went in year 11, went off to Bathurst and
Yeah,
very great.
How was that? Like, that would have been quite a change.
Yeah, huge change, huge change. But I loved it. And yeah, very much attribute my experience at boarding school to where I am today. With business and career and life. Yeah.
Definitely set you up in all the ways, can't it?
Yeah.
Probably leads in the second question then. What brought you to Gunnedah?
Love.
Yeah.
Love. Yeah, so my husband's a Gunnedah boy, and we met in Newcastle. We worked at a pub together that was managed and owned by a Gunnedah person.
All right.
Yeah, Terry O'Connor, who's now passed away. Terry O'Connor. Yeah, I think they had the railway here a long time ago.
Yep.
So his motto was to employ country kids and provide country services in a city pub. So my interview went, where are you from? I said, Walbert. He said, when can you start? I said, tonight. And that was it, 4 years later.
There you go, it was meant to be then.
Yeah, so Matt and I met there and then we moved to Orange. So I was a new graduate in Orange for then we lived there for 6 years. And then
What was Matt doing in Newcastle?
mining.
Yeah, okay.
And working on the pub.
Yep.
Yeah.
Were you behind the bar?
And I was a waitress.
The old classic.
Yeah, very
Cute
classic.
barman and the cute
Yes.
waitress.
Thanks, Emma.
You can ask the next question. It
thanks.
was all around
Thanks so much.
the role.
Well, you were the one fascinated by this.
What is?
Well, he was a little bewildered by what an OT
Yeah.
actually does. But in fairness, you were saying earlier that it's a very,
I've
broad.
always pretended
Broad
like,
title.
when I met
Yeah.
you and you're like, I'm an OT, and I went, oh yeah.
His
Yes.
role.
I know.
Yeah. Occupational therapy is a very diverse career, which opens up many opportunities, but makes it a little bit tricky to explain what we do and what we don't do. So often people make the assumption we do return to work, or we all work with kids who can't write. So occupational therapy is a really diverse career, but in summary, our role is to teach people or modify a task or an environment or equipment to enhance their function in daily tasks. So that can be from low muscle tone in hands for handwriting right up to a catastrophic injury such as a spinal injury.
Yeah.
So it's
Quite rewarding in a lot of ways, isn't it?
yeah, it is. I've done 20 years of occupational therapy this year and still love it. Yeah.
So tell us, focus on function. So we've watched you grow quite rapidly. Which,
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Fabulous.
Thank you.
Tell us how that came about.
Well, it all just come about originally. So I was doing sole trading work in the work we do now, focus on function. So that's a lot of catastrophic injury management, so spinal cord injuries and traumatic brain injuries under compensable claims, so car accidents and workplace injuries. So I did that for about 10 years, part-time, while I was working in community health, while I was having babies and doing those things. And then after about 10 years, I kind of thought I need to do something different, and I actually thought about being a financial planner.
Really?
Something really different. Yeah, I've always loved numbers. I thought I need to get out or go bigger, basically. So I went bigger.
So we did.
Yeah. So I remember being so nervous speaking to a team member, Alina, who's still with us now and brilliant, being so nervous at offering her like 4 hours a week, thinking how, like, will I be able to offer that regularly?
Yes, it's a big job, isn't it?
Yeah.
Building a team.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
she's full-time with us now, has been for many years.
And how many in your team now?
Well, we're about to grow again. So we're about to expand 2 new services in the next 2 weeks. So we're a multidisciplinary service, so case management, occupational therapy, and dietitian services. And we're about to expand into exercise physiology and nursing.
Wow.
So doing the same kind of work under the same funding bodies with the same population,
Just in different areas.
providing more services.
Yes.
Yeah.
So roughly how many staff?
So that'll be 12. 2 weeks or about 12, 10 as of today.
It's something about, I was just thinking back to when we were sort of putting people on, it's one thing to take a risk yourself,
Yeah.
but then that.
Oh, knowing you need to put food on other people's tables,
and
essentially.
yeah, and that they really trusted me not to
Yeah.
stuff it up.
Yeah.
I was just
Yeah.
like, oh my god, they really think I can do
It's a
it.
2 a.m. moment.
Yes.
Waking up going, okay.
Yeah,
I don't think that it's 2 a.m. It's 3 a.m. for me,
Yeah.
personally, but I don't think they ever leave. I think that just changed.
Well, I suppose you learn more and you're more, I don't actually think I'm going to stuff it up, anymore.
No, but yes.
Yes.
The areas of concern probably just change.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. You sort of discover that you can do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I suppose, the imposter syndrome of a business owner does kind of fluctuate and change, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't, leave us.
And I did want to ask you about your new premises. Obviously,
Yes.
I'm lucky enough to sell you that one.
Yep.
How are you going out there? You
Yeah, good.
change things around? And
Not much.
not much?
Really.
It's pretty well set up.
Yes, it's great. But I'm really keen to do some renovations. I just need to find about 6 months of settledness.
Yeah.
Time.
To do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the trouble, isn't it?
But no, it's great. We're really loving.
Good location.
Yes, and no landlord. No landlord. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So we've got a big rent space in Armidale and Tamworth.
And you're happy that, we were fortunate here too, weren't we? To be able to secure something, and that way if you put money into something, you know it's your asset.
Yes, yeah. And you can do what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Make your own decisions, make your own calls. Yeah.
So, Lou, you are obviously very busy. You've got, family, obviously a big team, great business. When you have 5 seconds to yourself,
Yes.
how do you relax?
Well, I'm probably not very good at that,
Yeah.
either, to be
No,
really
I
honest.
hear you.
I like to hang out with friends and family. I kind of actually probably need to be distracted. Self-directed rest is probably my greatest weakness. So hanging out with friends and family, like a weekend in Mudgee with on wine tours and good cheese and that kind of stuff. I love walking around new towns and discovering, random shops and different things. But on a day-to-day basis or week-to-week or maybe month-to-month, I'm not very good at that. It's just because 3 kids who are into lots of sports.
That's right, yeah.
And I'm constantly thinking of ideas and different ways of doing things. So that would be my greatest weakness, I think.
Well, weakness or super strength? I'm
Well,
going
to
with
me,
super strength.
I reckon it could be both.
Yes.
In
Yeah.
different contexts, it could be both.
Yeah.
There's a common theme with people who get into successful businesses, and there's a compromise.
Well, I was
Yeah.
talking to Rob Parsons the other day, and I was explaining a few projects we've got going, and he basically gave me a street diagnosis of probably ADHD.
Yeah, that's quite common
Yeah.
in business owners.
Where you that's how you you
Yes.
thrive better
Yeah.
at that level.
Yeah, it's just channeling that, isn't it?
Yes.
Good things.
We might be able to use the OT skills to improve your... I was actually thinking about me working here, you could probably just do moles for me. Like, sitting there just watching my behavioural patterns and different things and how I use a keyboard.
probably not the OT for that.
No, you'd have a field day. So.
But you're right, it is, I suppose it's that iceberg, isn't it, that people see the great success on the top, but the relentless, consistent work underneath.
Yeah.
And I truly, I don't think you actually really have appreciation for it until you've done it.
I agree. And well, part of our beers and banter, novels and banter, is to promote other people in our community and other businesses. But sometimes I think it's really nice for people to hear that as well, that you know, you are a mum at home that, you know, folds the laundry and you don't have a lot of downtime, and whilst the success is lovely, there's a lot that goes into it and a lot of sacrifice, really.
There is, and I'd say that's from the whole family as well in small business. Even mowing lawns and doing things, everyone's got to chip in and help for that to happen.
Let's ask her. We always finish with if you want to ask a question.
Well, I've been thinking about this. So my question is with recruitment and retention difficulties, what are your thoughts on how different industries such as health and real estate or whoever can collaborate to come together to showcase the great lifestyle that we lead? Because it feels like in occupational therapy, sometimes it feels like we're the poor cousins, or you know, you will only get X, Y, and Z in rural healthcare, where I'm one to very much promote that that's not correct, that we provide really quality evidence-based services and very skilled, diverse clinicians. And so how do we, I don't know if it's...
Like the town, is that what you're getting at?
Yeah.
Issues we've had.
Well, no, I was thinking more from that I think we lead a great life in Banter. It's a really good place to live, bring up kids.
Yeah.
So how do we showcase that rather than...
I think it's a good question.
No, very good question.
It's
probably just doesn't have a simple answer.
Well, and I think stuff like that is best done organically rather than, say, a slogan campaign. And it starts from things like, you know, our coffee shops and all that sort of stuff that builds the town.
The culture of
the town. You know, it is a real positive. That's what helps grow Gunnar in the sense that people want to move here for work in different locations. We had a lot of people move to Gunnar, you know, from the Hunter Valley area, for instance. And perhaps if it's in some instances, it might be a fellow coming out of operate machinery. Maybe his wife's a little reluctant to coming up. But I think once they get in here and they realise that, I think we're in a sweet spot in the size of this town. Like there still is community. Whereas, okay, you can go to town, there'd be areas and pockets of that, but we have that benefit of being quite holistic in the town, don't we? Like, not everyone knows everyone, but it's that sort of feeling, and there's people around who want to do things and help each other and so forth. But I wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
Me either.
Quite honest. You know, I mean, we're close enough to services if you need it. We don't really go missing. There's areas that obviously like hospitals being improved.
But you get that in private hospitals in Sydney. Like it's not all
isolated.
Well, it's not all perfect. There's terrible things. You know, errors happen and things are missed in all settings.
You know, to answer your question, I suppose let's look at someone in your line of work, perhaps in the city area. And I'm not sure pay rates and stuff like that would be. We're at a time where cost of living is...
I was about to say cost of living to me, we're so much better off. We just had a weekend in Sydney and wow.
It's a lot of money.
It's just, you don't walk out the door without...
Okay, it has come to me.
Okay, great.
Marketing campaign, schooner prices. Let's push it on that.
Perfect.
That's what we get people over the line. They get me there anyway. Like,
so Byron Bay schooners,
ridiculous. $17 at the beach hotel. And they're warm anyway.
Yeah.
7 or 8
So what are our schooners?
$7 or $8?
Yeah, depending where you go.
Half the price.
Half the price.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
How about that?
There we go.
Let's rent.
That is great.
Cheap schooners and cheap rent. That's what we'll go with. Well, cheaper rent, I shouldn't say cheap.
If we can, the problem is the reluctance to move here. I think that's the hurdle, because once people are here, and we've had really close family friends, lifelong friends that did not want to move here but came for their husband's employment, for example, and then had to relocate back to a major city again for employment reasons, and cried all the way home, and they just would give anything to be back. And so I think it's just once we can get them here, town sort of is selling itself.
Yeah.
But for most people.
Yeah, but I agree with you, Luke. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else, and I think what a privileged position it is for our kids to grow up here.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree with selling the cheaper lifestyle and the cheaper scooters. That's brilliant. But it feels like we're selling ourselves short because it genuinely is a great, great place to live.
Yeah.
Like it just, anyway, that's my little.
Yeah, no,
That's my
look,
question.
and it's a good question, and to be honest, sometimes we're at the coalface sometimes in regards to people coming to
Yes.
town. And
would you, yeah.
look, we had a meeting actually with most of the real estate agents today, council on the forefront, every quarter we meet up, and we talk about things like this,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
how we can promote. So I think everyone's on the same page,
Yeah.
we all want the same thing, but I don't think it's a silver bullet.
And it's a long-term thing, isn't it? We're forever.
Yeah.
And it's not just getting people here, it's looking after them once they're here.
And everyone doing their bit
Yes.
for the town.
Yeah.
So whether that's in business or for sport,
Yeah.
exactly community groups, if you contribute a little bit, and if everyone had that sort of that way of thinking, I think we'd be able to showcase. I don't know,
Yeah, I agree. But they're the people we want to attract, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. People that want to give and
Yes.
be part of the community.
Yeah. Anyway, I agree. It's a long term.
But mainly cheap scooters.
Cheap
We'll keep it on
scooters. Yeah, absolutely.
that. Right, we might wrap it up. Thanks
Yeah,
for calling
thank
in.
you.
Pretty painless. Wasn't too bad.
Absolutely, totally fine. Thank
Right,
you.
all good.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Abby.
Lou. Enjoy having you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Cheers.
Thank you.
All good.